Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an interesting episode for you guys. You definitely want to stick around for, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, today I was just watching some sports shows, just trying to think of what to produce because it's kind of a slow day in the media, and I don't feel like talking about Kevin Durant and the Nets, him wanting to be traded, because nothing has happened. We've been talking about that for the last 3 weeks, and nothing has happened. But it seems, however, that Draymond Green seems to be the talk of the town at the moment. Now, some recent reports have come out indicating that he is seeking a max contract extension with the Golden State Warriors, and that news has sparked a major conversation around the NBA world, where, you know, basically NBA fans are basically going back and forth on whether or not they think Draymond Green is the type of player that warrants a max contract, you know, those type of dollars. So as I was watching a segment today from First Things First, they were actually discussing that, and towards the end of the segment, Nick Wright said something. He made a statement that totally floored me, and that statement had something to do with Kawhi Leonard and Draymond Green, right? He compared these two guys. But before we get into his statements, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do is we want to play the comments that Nick Wright had to make about Kawhi Leonard and Draymond Green as it pertains to their defensive ability. So take a listen to that, and we'll come back and react to it. It's not very long. Take a listen to that.
Yeah, so if I can respond to that quickly, like, not if Ben Simmons on the team. Now you're playing 3-on-5 on
well,
offense.
right. It'd have to be a swap.
You have to do a switcheroo there.
It'd have to be a swap of those.
We're trading Ben Simmons for Draymond Green. Okay, and again, so you went to a very specific thing. No, I understand. I don't think some people would say, oh, because of the clutch stuff, he could go play with LeBron and the Lakers. I think Draymond, I want to be very clear. I did not think until the very end he had a good NBA Finals. I do think he is the best defensive player of his era. I think he's better than Kawhi. I think he is the best defensive guy of this era of basketball. I do think he, not Klay Thompson, has been the second most important piece of the Warriors dynasty, if you will, if you're removing KD from it. I believe all of those things are true.
So you heard what Nick Wright had to say, right? And instead of me, initially, I wanted to have like kind of this emotional reaction, but I decided not to. And instead, I decided to do some research. I decided it would be best that I gather some information before I actually, started forming an opinion on what Nick Wright had to say. So the first thing we did was we actually put up a poll, right? And it's good to put up a poll. The reason these polls are really good for our channel is because it gives us kind of a macro view of what people out there are feeling, not just what I may be feeling on a personal level. So we put out a poll. We put up a poll about half an hour ago, about 30 minutes ago, about 45 minutes ago. And the first question we asked on that poll was this: who's the better defender in their prime, right? And in about 45 minutes, 1,500 people voted, and about 84% of the voters said that it's Kawhi Leonard, right? And then we asked another question: who would you rather have guard Giannis in their primes? And we put up 3 options on that poll. And in about 32 minutes, and we put up 3 options on that poll. And the options were Kawhi Leonard, Draymond Green, and Ben Simmons. And in about 30 minutes or so, we had 1,700 people vote. And about 79% of those voters, roughly 80% of those voters, said that they would want Kawhi Leonard to defend Giannis Antetokounmpo in his prime. So it seems as if our audience seems to feel that Kawhi Leonard is the much better defender, but some people can say, well, that's just your audience. Maybe they have a similar, they share a similar, viewpoint as you, and you need to go out there. So I said to myself, okay, let me go out there and do some more research. I didn't just stop there, and I stumbled upon an article from Sportskeeda.com, and they were ranking the top 5 defenders who ever guarded LeBron James in his prime. And it turns out the number 1 defender to ever guard LeBron James, according to Sportskeeda, is Kawhi Leonard. And according to what this report said, it basically said here, the Claw was another player who successfully reduced LeBron James' impact significantly and denied the Miami Heat a three-peat. When Leonard was his primary defender, he shot only 34% from the field, and Kawhi Leonard was subsequently named the finals MVP. And then I said, okay, so that's one bit of evidence. It's not just me sitting up here thinking, oh, Kawhi Leonard is the best player. But Kawhi Leonard also had a very famous run with the Toronto Raptors when they won that championship. And the team that he faced in the Eastern Conference Finals was the number 1. I believe they were the number 1 seed in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken, that year. I could be wrong. About that. But they went up against the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? And Giannis Antetokounmpo is a tall task for anybody, any single person. And the first 2 games, the Raptors actually went down 0-2 to Giannis, and he was wreaking havoc. And according to Phil Handy, who was there at the time, I believe, he said that Kawhi Leonard said, oh, listen, I'll guard Giannis. And according to a Bleacher Report article that they published, they pretty much said that that Kawhi Leonard, once he decided to guard Giannis, that's when the series started to change. And basically it says here, the advanced stats paint the picture of a dominant postseason. Giannis is second in box plus minus, trailing only Nikola Jokic. He's 5th in average game score, but he's first among qualifiers on a per minute scale. And prior to Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Toronto, Giannis was averaging a ridiculous 27.4 points per game, 12.2 rebounds, 4.6 assists, 1.7 blocks, and 1.2 steals in just 32.3 minutes per game. Then it continues on. For starters, Kawhi defended Giannis for a team-high 41 possessions. In Game 1 and 2 combined, he was only on him for only 19 possessions. Put Kawhi's heroics on offense to aside for a moment. What he did as a defender was Defensive Player of the Year level stuff. For the series, Giannis has 9 points in 60 possessions. Kawhi has guarded him. The Bucks have 55 points in those possessions. That's 91.7 points per possessions. This postseason, Milwaukee is scoring 111.6 points per 100 possessions, which trails only the Golden State Warriors and Denver Nuggets. When Kawhi is on Giannis, the Bucks score 19.9 fewer points per 100 possessions. On a more basic level, Giannis is 4-16 when defended by Kawhi. In Game 3 alone, he was 2 of 12. Those numbers are even more staggering when compared to what he's doing against the rest of the Raptors. When Giannis is defended by Raptors not named Kawhi, Milwaukee has scored 211 points on 184 possessions. Giannis himself has scored 57 points on 18 of 36 shooting against the rest of the Toronto Raptors. It seems that Kawhi Leonard was able to guard some of the best offensive players in the last 20 years in a LeBron James and a Giannis Antetokounmpo. And while he's doing that, he's also scoring about 25 points per game on an efficient 45-50% shooting from the field. So the notion of Draymond and Kawhi Leonard even being on the same level is laughable to me. Absolutely laughable. Because all Draymond Green has to do is play defense, set screens, push the tempo, rebound the ball, assist the ball, block some shots. Kawhi Leonard has to do that and score. So imagine if all Kawhi Leonard had to do was just play defense. I don't think there's been a better perimeter defender in the NBA probably in the last 10 years. I think he's the best when he's on his A game, but now he's a two-way player. And if you listen to Patrick Beverley, who's an all NBA defensive type of player, he said the hardest thing to be in the NBA is a two-way player. So when Nick Wright said that, it just sounded like a total joke to me, right? It's a total joke. I don't think Draymond Green is as good a defender as Kawhi Leonard, period, end of story. These are my thoughts. So the question to you is, do you think it's close? Do you even think it's close? Do you think Draymond Green is better than Kawhi Leonard as a defender? Whatever you guys think, Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.